apologize. I think something went off for a moment. I
All
don't know
right,
whether
fine.
it's from my
All right.
side, I believe. Okay, good. So can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, brilliant. Good. So, I mean, all of us have been unhappy, and I think Larry did say that at the very beginning. Now, I'm sure that all of us have been unhappy at some point in time with regards to the kinds of services that we got from our customers. So, I'm sure this has happened to all of us. You know, you go to some restaurant to ask for food, and then they say, you ask the person, this still happened to me some weeks ago. I asked the person, how long will it take? They said 20 minutes. I said, are you sure it's 20? They said, oh, 20. I said, okay, I'll give you 30 minutes so that we can manage the expectation. Oh, the guy said, oh, absolutely, that the food will be in. The food took exactly about 45 minutes to come in. He said 20. I gave him an extra 10. It still took about 45 minutes for them to bring the food. So we've all been unhappy with one thing or the other, either a product or a service that we got. But it's not just that we've been unhappy. I dare say that even the organizations that we also represent have also been unhappy around some of the services that we provide. I can bet you that some of the organizations we also represent, I mean, we've been running training heights for about 20 years. And I know that from time to time we get customers who are not happy with one thing or the other that we have done. Either something they didn't get their certificate on time, they didn't get what it is, that thing that they show on Instagram, what you ordered for versus what you got. So we've had instances like that. Sometimes the trainer might be stuck in traffic and the client is not happy. It could be one thing or the other. So we've experienced this concept of unhappy customers, either we being the customers or the customers being people who patronize our own organization. So it's a global phenomenon, and it will always happen. It will typically always happen. The critical thing is for you and I to be able to manage it adequately to ensure that we can make every unhappy customer, we can turn them into some kind of happy customer. Please give me 1 minute, please. All right, so sorry about that. So as I said, so the idea is for us to be able to turn anybody who is unhappy with the services that we provide to be able to turn them into happy customers. Okay, I'll move on very quickly. So once again, it's important. So we've seen this. So people talk about customer service and the advantages of customer service, and for everybody that is on the call who is representing one organization or the other, for everybody that is on the call who is representing one organization or the other, you really have to go into the next year thinking about customer service. The concept of customer service definitely has to be something that you should be worried about as your organization is going into the year 2024. It's important that you get this right, that you just even don't do customer service, but you become an organization that even does other things like should I say customer experience and things like that. So everybody should go back home thinking about customer service. So so here I've also been able to identify. My plan is not to read the slides to you. The reasons to have great customer service, and there's so many reasons why you and I should take a theme like this, a topic like this, where we're talking about being customer centric or thinking about our own organization, and that needs to be customer centric. What are the reasons why should we take these things seriously? And some of you need to write a memo to your managing director, to the board, to the executives on the reasons why your own organization should take a much more circumspect look into customer service. Why should your own organization take a much more circumspect look into customer service? right? So it can lead to more revenue definitely for your organization. It allows you to be able to keep the customers for a very long time, maybe even a lifetime. I mean, I have there's somebody that makes my clothes and he's been making my clothes, I don't know, maybe for 10, 15 years. There was a particular time before that organization moved to a further location and I couldn't patronize them any longer. I was washing my clothes with them. They're like a dry cleaning service, and I'll take my clothes there once every month, and I must have done that for about 7 or 8 years, maybe even 10. And I probably would have still been patronizing them if not that they had moved to a different location. So it makes sense to really practice customer service to ensure that you have what we can term as optimal customer service in your own organization. It will help your reputation, it will help your sales, it will help your revenue, it will help your brand, it will help even the staff of the organization. Okay. Um, so everybody, so please go to the chat room and tell me. I mean, people say customer is king. People say customer is king, and the customers are always right. I had to pick this from a certain website. So is this a concept you agree with? Everybody, please go to the chat room. Tell me, do you agree that customer is king? Customer is important, but are they king? And are they always right? Are customers always right? I didn't write the mantra is rubbish. Some clients are idiots. I was not the one who wrote that. I picked it from somewhere. I will actually have to update this slide so that people will know that I'm not the one who, who said these things. But yeah, so everybody go to the chat room. Tell me, is customer king or queen? And is customer, are they always right? That's something I'd like to hear thoughts and opinion from everybody. Customers, are they always right? Aren't customers very wrong sometimes? No customers mislead us. No customers say the wrong thing or approach things the wrong way. So is customer always king and are they always right? It would definitely be great to hear from everybody. And the writer of this was actually saying that yes, customer is not always king because they don't have absolute control and power, so to speak. However, they are like the boss. You and I need to listen to them. We should be worried about them. We should want to speak to them and things like that. So I would like definitely it would be great for me to come back to hear the thoughts and the opinion of everybody relative to this. So another thing I want everybody to go to ask, I want everybody to answer. That's question number 2. Everybody is customer needs, will we say it's the same as expectations, customer needs versus expectations, customer needs versus expectations? Would we say these are the same, that they're the same, right? Customer needs versus their expectations. Customers want to buy at a great price, isn't it? The lowest price for the highest quality. They want a variety of options, as it is, and they want that product or that service in the most convenient way. So, what exactly are their needs? Should we look at needs like some kind of basic requirements, while their expectations are like some kind of nice to have or some kind of advanced requirement? So, customer needs versus expectations, are they the same? If they are, then of course you should say in the chat room that they are. If they are different, then you should also go to the chat room and say they are different. And this is the difference between customer needs versus expectations. Okay. But these are all things that you might want to take into consideration as you're thinking about building a customer-centric culture in your own organization. These are all things you should take into keen consideration as you plan to build a customer-centric culture. Customer-centric means that you know that um you're just completely focused. And I'll show you something that I've included in the slides today, which is called the customer engagement life cycle. And if you get that customer engagement life cycle right as an organization, your organization definitely will grow, will definitely move from one level to another. If you can get the customer engagement life cycle, if you can get it right. And I'll get to that in a moment. And because when you talk about culture, culture is not necessarily what is written down. Culture is how people do things. culture is not necessarily what is written down, it is how people do things. It's the prevailing behavior of people. And then when you're thinking about culture, you have to think about it end to end. So if you and I are talking about some kind of customer-centric culture, we have to think about it end to end. All the way from how we think about our customers to how we acquire them, how we retain them, and how we keep selling to them. So we're going to say quite a bit around that. I like this one too. In fact, one time I read an article that said the difference between being customer obsessed versus being just normal customer experience. So people talk about customer obsession. That's another one. That's a higher degree. When you're saying that you're obsessed with the needs, the wants, and even the requirements of your customer, the needs, the wants, and even the requirements of your customer. That you literally will stay awake all night just because of that. And I used to be like that. I'm not sure I'm exactly like that any longer, but just because the customer wants something, they want a product, they want a service, they want a proposal, they want a recommendation, I would turn the thing in my head overnight. I won't sleep. I'll wake up in the middle of the night. I'll go jot down a couple of things just because I want to really impress the customer. So I had an obsession for just making my customers happy. I wasn't just interested in them saying that I've done a great job. I wanted them to say that, you know what, oh, these people have done a fantastic job and we will recommend them. Right? And we will recommend them. And I'm always looking for that recommendation. I always want people to recommend me, to recommend the services that our organization provides. I'm always thinking about how I can go beyond and above what it is that people have asked of me. Okay, so but of course, there's also the concept of customer experience. I know a lot of people know. They've heard this. People are always talking about CX, customer experience, how the people feel. Uh, we have many. What are the ways? The things that we hear, the things we smell, the things we taste, how we feel. And that's why you can see at the last bullet point on my screen talks about cognitive, affective, and sensory and behavioral responses. When you say that you curate a customer experience, it starts from the person who picks up the call to the next person the person who picks up the call to the next person that they give it to. It just permeates the entire organization. It permeates their gatesman, the reception, everything. They built it thinking about customer experience. And there are organizations like that. I've gone to a couple of fintechs like that, everything is just done in a certain way. The toilets, the paintings on the wall, everything, they just curated it so that it gives a certain customer experience. And you and I need to really think about these things because that's where our website comes in. That's where our phone lines come in. And that's where, even the person that picks up the phone call on behalf of the organization, that's where these things come in, that you're very intentional about what your customers experience from the very first point of contact, whether that first point of contact is social media, or it is contact center, or it is via your website. That there's a great feeling about your organization. But a lot of people don't take these things into consideration. Another keyword that people use, and of course all these things are there: how you provide advice, how you provide support, the competence of the people who are representatives of your own organization, the competence of the people who are representatives of your own organization. And this is key. I felt I should throw this in here. It's a framework that all of you need to learn. It's very important. Everybody who does customer service, they teach them this. And once again, I consider myself to be chief customer service officer for the organizations that I represent. If the client is unhappy, I'm the first person that needs to be able to attend to these things. So you should learn this technique. When your customers are not happy with you, this is the technique. It's called feel, felt, and then we found out. So you say, I completely understand, so that you show empathy. they understand, you show that you understand, right? And then you kind of say to them that, people have felt this way. Either it's the environment is your fault, or it's the fault of the environment, or something. People have felt this way. And then you can now end with some kind of clincher that, well, this is how you resolved it, or this is how what people have found out later. Maybe some people buy products from you and they end up not knowing how to use it. It's possible. Okay. So, and the interventions that you have put in place. So it's an approach that they teach everywhere in the world where the people are talking about customer service. They talk about the feel, how you feel, right? We understand you have to demonstrate that you're with the person. You sit where they are sitting as at now. You can feel their pain. And then you also tell them that, yeah, that there are references to where these things might have happened, either in your own organization, in other organizations, and then the things that people have found. I just felt that I should throw that in. But this is the crux of this whole meeting for me. And as I said, every organization, if you're going to develop a customer-centric culture in your own organization, you have to understand this customer engagement life cycle. I've called it the CEL, CEL. Your organization has got to think through this customer engagement life cycle end to end. And I'll show it to you in a moment. All right. But every company also needs to answer these questions. As you go into 2024, a lot of organizations are preparing for 2024. A lot of people are getting ready for 2024, and you should be getting ready. In fact, in some organizations, their strategy document, their tactical document, their budget, everything they want to do for 2024 is done and it is ready in some organizations. Right? And here, everybody, I put 7 questions here. So please take a screenshot here, send it to your colleagues, send it to your bosses, send it to your team members, that how do we answer these questions for our organization in the year, thinking about the year 2024. How do we answer these questions for our own organization, our team, our department, thinking about the year 2024? Each representative in this room. Remember, I said that I consider myself to be a customer service representative myself, because the CEO is, and a lot of banks used to do it in those days. The CEO will go to sit at the reception for a day. The CEO will have to visit each of the branches, and also, become a teller for half a day, something like that. Those are important things, so that, because if the CEO is high and mighty, he doesn't know what the organization is going through, what they do, doesn't know anything about the organization. He's just driving the company from a strategic perspective. He might not really understand what the people really feel, what his own staff they are feeling, and what the customers are also feeling. When you have a CEO that does not want to sit where the people are also seated. So this is important. And once again, each of you need to go back and ask yourselves, as an organization, who exactly is our customer? Why should they buy from us, or why should they keep buying from us? Because one thing that people don't realize in business is that it's very easy that for the competitive advantage that you have that you had yesterday, 2 years ago, for that competitive advantage to be completely eroded. It's very easy for that competitive advantage to just disappear. So you have to keep asking yourselves these questions on an annual basis. Who exactly is our customer? Who are the existing ones? Who are those that are the prospective ones that we're trying to attract? Why should they buy from us? Why were they buying from us now? Why should they be buying from us into the future? What do we have to sell to them? What makes you and I, what makes us unique? What do we have to sell to them, and what makes us unique? What time of the year are we should we be looking for them to buy from us? Is it all year? But everybody's looking for souvenirs now. Everybody's looking for rice for Christmas and gifts and those kinds of things. People are just going to start doing hampers and all sorts of things because it's Christmas time. But if you just do hampers in June, nobody's going to buy them. And number five, location is important, just like channels are also very important. Is 5Ws and 1H. I added an extra one to it. I said in here that how do I measure if we're serving them well and if they are happy with us? How do we measure if we're serving our customers well and how do we are they happy? Are they excited? There's something we call the excitement factors. Are they happy and excited with the things, the products, and the services that we're giving to them? So once again, everybody needs to go think about that. Now, this is the sell, everybody. And if you're going to grow a customer-centric culture in your organization, you've got to go through this whole thing. You have to start from the very beginning. And that customer-centric culture, it doesn't matter what kind of organization, even SMBP, the organizers of this call in themselves have to look into this even deeper as they go and proceed into 2024. All organizations that are represented here, you have to really think about this as you go forward. First, do you have a strategy for how you manage customers, how you acquire them, and how you keep managing them? Most people don't even have a one-page document for that. And that is a challenge. Most people do not even have a one-page document that talks about customer management strategy. And I think you and I all should be great representatives. All of us should be who we can call a great client service people. I'm a client service executive. A lot of the people on this call, all of us, in as much as you work in an organization, we're all involved. Marketing is key. A lot of people, that's where it goes wrong. Their marketing is not customer centric. It's product and service centric. It's not really thinking about it from the customer perspective. And that happens to a lot of people. They focus a lot on the features of the product and service versus the benefits of the products and the services to the buyers. Everybody, you need to go learn that. So people specialize in features and capabilities of a product and service at the expense of the benefits that the users and the payers will get from it. Further to that, you have contact management. And this happens to a lot of us. We organize events, we get contact, we don't put them in a CRM. We have a website, we have a contact page, people put stuff in. Most people don't even know who the email goes to. We have a phone number on our website and on our social media. Phone calls, people make calls to those numbers, but it doesn't go into our CRM. Okay? So we meet people, we give them our business cards, they come back to us. We don't put those opportunities and those kinds of things, those leads, we don't put them into our CRM. So most organizations, and I can tell you, insurance company, banks, pensions, they all do badly when it comes to number 3. It's just like number 2. Most of us do very badly. We focus on the features and capabilities of the product. The product can fly, it can jump, it can do this, it can do that. We never really think about it from the perspective of the customer, the person who is going to be paying. All right? So we struggle with number 1. We struggle with number 2. We struggle with number 3. That is why most people then struggle all the way down. And this is the very center of that concept we call something being customer-centric. This is the very heart of something being customer-centric. Okay? And of course, from the contact, it should take us to leads, and leads to opportunities, and opportunities should take us to how we negotiate. Negotiation is key. How do we do our negotiation? How do we negotiate what it is that we have? So you have to get negotiation right in your own organization. And for some people, it's not just negotiation, it is also about clarification. How do you clarify things? And of course, after that, it is sales. How do we ensure that we're selling appropriately? How do we ensure that we drive everything that's got to do with customer service? How do we ensure that we manage our accounts for repeat business and retention? And how do we ensure that we upsell and cross-sell, including referrals? Brothers and sisters, people, great professionals that are on the call, your organization, take it from me once again. You can take a screenshot, you can share it with your team members, you can share it with your own organization, with the bosses in the organization, whoever those people are, and you can say to them that what are we missing? What exactly are the reds? When I do this exercise for organizations, when we sit together, what we do is to say where we use the color coding. Where can we really say we're green? Where can we really say we're yellow or amber? And where can we really say that we're red? And it's good to take an introspective look, because without this, customer centricity means that you're thinking about this all the way to the end, from the very beginning to the end. Remember, we've talked about some key things. So, for example, if your people are not competent, they're not trained, they're not happy, then it's going to be difficult for you to achieve some of these things. But this is end to end customer engagement life cycle. And if you don't deal with these 10 things, you cannot build a customer-centric culture. Customer-centric culture is going to permeate the entire organization. Customer-centric culture has got to permeate the entire organization. And this is the thing that helps you. Most people think that customer service number 8 is all that is important. That's how people think about it. But they don't realize that, if number 1 to 7 does not happen properly, then of course automatically you're going to suffer in number 8. A customer-centric culture starts from number 1. It starts from how we do our marketing, our campaigns, our advertising, how we gather our contacts, how we do lead opportunity negotiation. It's across board, everybody. That culture you want to build that talks about a customer-centric culture is across board. It's not for one area, it is across board. And indeed, if you don't take anything away from this meeting today, if you forget everything that I have said, if everything that I've said goes over your head, this is the one place where you truly need to pay a lot of attention. You need to pay a lot of attention to this particular page, and you should take a screenshot and you should go back to your organization and ask yourself, ask others, are we are we taking a customer-centric approach to our work? Are we customer-centric as an organization? And where are we with regards to this customer engagement life cycle? Where are we strong? Where are we weak? As it is. I've done this over time. I've been implementing this over time. Even when I used to implement CRM, and I found out that why the technology does not work is because some of these things are broken. And people, when they hear customer, they only go to number 8, forgetting that some key things are there prior to number 8, and some things are still there even after number 8. Once again, if you can't remember anything from this webinar, please take this away with you. And pretty much that's it. So customer management strategy really talks about the way by which we think and plan and the way we attract, acquire, and even retain customers. That's what it means. How we do our marketing. Our marketing is a big deal, especially in this modern day of both digital and physical marketing. And of course, this is also where we call something we say campaign management. And I can tell you of a fact, or for a fact, sorry, I can tell you that most of us, this is our biggest challenge in our organizations. And if the people who are doing these things in our own organizations are also struggling, Then, of course, you can imagine that when the customers buy, then the customers are going to be unhappy. People think about, once again, if you come back here, people think about customer service as a post thing. They don't realize that customer service is from the very beginning of even at building the products and the services and attracting the customers. It's from the very beginning, from the products and services, how you've built the products and services with the customers in mind. And then it goes through the entire circle in itself. Once again, I've spoken about contacts and how we manage contacts very badly, website, emails, how all the things that we don't, most organizations do not have some kind of consolidated contact management system. Hardly will you find that anywhere. Most of us are struggling when it comes to how we manage our leads and prospects. We're struggling with regard to how we manage our leads and our prospects. And these are things that you want to go back to think about. Like, how do we manage our leads and prospects as an organization? Because the leads and the prospects will lead to the opportunity, and sometimes people call it pipeline management. People call this the pipeline, okay, which is our opportunities. And opportunities should lead to, if we get opportunity management right, it should lead to a lot of negotiations and a lot of clarifications. And you can't do business without that. You can't have products and services that you will not need to clarify or negotiate. There's always negotiation, there's always clarification when it comes to a lot of these things. This is important. And then if you move on further, it's the big deal, which is to close the deal. No customers, no customer service. And customer service is all the way from the thinking. Please take that quote with you. Customer service is all the way from the thinking around the products and the services, the creation and the development and the products and the services in such a way that they will be directly aligned to the needs and the expectations of the customer. And then the people in marketing and in advertising and in brand management and in campaign management, they need to position those products and services in such a way that it demonstrates the benefits to the buyers, not just the features. Once again, these are critical things you and I need to think about. And then, of course, the entire concept of customer satisfaction, the satisfaction scores, right? And it's end of year. A lot of people should start doing customer satisfaction survey. Were you happy with us throughout this year? Were you happy with the products you bought already from us this year, 2023? We're pretty much it's less than 70 days to the end of the year. All right, so people, this is the right time for people. Literally, it's just about 65 more days for this year to come to a beautiful close. So everybody needs to be involved with getting the opinion, the thoughts, and the ideas from their customers around improvement. Were you happy with us, and how can we? What do we need to improve to better serve you as we go into the year 2024? Account management is also key. How you manage the accounts. You know, in big organizations, they call it key account management. How do you manage our key accounts? The accounts that you're meant to be speaking to them, you're meant to be working with them, you're meant to be, you might even be praying for them, because if your key accounts have a problem, then you're going to lose revenue. So it's important that you and I will even pray for our clients. Very important. Okay, that we pray for our clients, not just our own organization, but even our clients and our customers. So managing them, the existing customers as accounts, is critical so that they can do what these two things can happen. You can upsell, cross-sell, and these three things. You can upsell, cross-sell, and you can get referrals. A lot of us need to be able to get referrals from our customers. Referrals are very important. We need to be able to get referrals. If the customers are bought from us and they're very happy and they're glad, then we should be able to get referrals. So you talk about upselling and cross-selling, right? So how can you upsell, make them move to another product or a higher band of something? Okay, either more products, or should I say more of the same thing, or more of other things. So upselling, cross-selling, and referrals. A lot of people on this call, you need to be able to get referrals from your existing customers. If the customers are happy with you, then they should be able to give you referrals. That's important. That's essential. That if the people are happy with the services you're providing, they should be able to refer you to others. So it's important, once again, that you and I will take these things into keen consideration. I think I'm pretty much done. I think every organization needs to have a CRM. I don't think it's a nice to have. I think it's a must have. I think, and I know actually that everybody who says that, oh, you know what, I run a business, I run a company, they should have a CRM. Should have a CRM. CRM features and functionalities. Everybody that says that you run a business, you should have a CRM, and a CRM will help you all the way from contacts all the way to referral management in itself. A small CRM, an open source CRM, a cheap CRM, whatever. You should have a CRM and you need to use it adequately in your organization. I put this in there because I also consider this to be part of my own JD as a person, everybody. And this is the JD for all of us. And this is what HR needs to ensure that they instill and inculcate into everybody in the organization. This is what HR needs to ensure, that everybody, there's nobody in the organization that is not a representative, that is not a customer service representative. In as much as you work for a company, you're automatically a representative of that company, a representative of their culture, a representative of their strategy, a representative of their products and services. And I put this intentional because I want HR, everybody that is in HR that is on the call, to look for ways by which they will instill, inculcate, include, and embed this as part of onboarding and as part of annual, should I say, training for everybody in the organization, from the CEO to the least, whoever might be seen as the least person, maybe least based on salary or whatever it is, in the organization. Everybody needs to get proper training on this, so that, because indeed, if you work for an organization, then you're automatically a customer service representative of that organization in itself. Okay, pretty much that's it. So I believe that SMBP is coming up with a great course. They've titled it Customer Satisfaction Management Professional. Customer Satisfaction Management Professional. I believe it's going to be a great course. I believe once the course launches, we might even do a master class on this particular course at some point in time, for a much broader audience as it is. But please, once again, the highlight of this for me is that please take this away with you. This page, the customer engagement lifecycle, and the 10 steps that I have outlined. This is the secret to ensuring that your organization is customer centric and the staff of the organization is also customer centric in themselves. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to take questions and thoughts and opinion and things like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Odejide. Thank you so much for the insights and for recommendations. So, to my audience, yes. All right. So, do we have any question? Do we have any question from our end? Do we have? Okay, so if you have a question, kindly drop it in the chat box. If you have a question, yes, Maxwell, Heaven, Yusuf, if you have questions, please drop it in the chat box. All right, Dr. Odejide, I have a question for you here, sir.
Please go ahead.
Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right,
Please
so
go
this
ahead.
question says, what role does senior management play in driving a customer-centric culture within the organization? What roles does senior management play in driving a customer-centric culture within an organization?
Thank you very much. As I did say earlier, CEOs, executives, senior management, they are the face of the company. And all of us should go back and entrench this concept that we're all customer service representatives. And you know what they say? They say leadership flows from the top. If the leaders, the board, the executives, the CEO, the senior managers don't think and act like customer service representatives, then the entire organization will most likely also not think and act like customer service representatives. So it's important that you and I, that we represent this entire concept of customer centricity, all the way from the very top to the end. They say everything rises and falls on leadership. So the leadership of the organization definitely must clearly demonstrate that they themselves are following through with the ethos of customer centric culture in their own organization. And then it becomes easy for every other person in the organization to follow through. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, any more question before I read the last question from my end? Any more questions from our audience?
Okay, before you
All
take
right,
that,
and if you know,
okay, sorry.
all
Before
right,
that, Larry, so I'm in the chat room, and some people had said a couple of things. I did ask that people should provide their thoughts.
yes,
Uh,
sir.
Carlo Heaven says that customer is not always right, but we must find a way to manage their emotions. I completely agree with you. Olorunfemi Lowry says that needs and expectations are two different things. Most times the expectations are unrealistic with regards to what the customers are saying. Yusuf Aderami says that customer is king, but not always right. Okay. Okay, some people say customer is king, but not always right as it is. Once again, a lot of them says customer is king, but not always right. But you need to meet them at a point where they feel right, as that's where your organization gets its bread and butter. Thank you very much for that, Olorunfemi Lawry. I like your thoughts. Guys, the customer is king, but the services are queen. As it is. So thank you very much, everybody, for contributing to the questions as it is. So once again, Kalu was going to say something. Kalu, Heaven, Kalu, please go ahead if you want to speak or you want to type. Please go ahead.
Good day, sir.
Hold on, sir.
All right, so beautiful session. Thank you so much. I have a question, and I know that the session we had with you is not just for products and services, it's also for, let's say, I was thinking around it in terms of getting a job or getting a contract.
Okay.
So, I mean, that can also be applied. I mean, from all that you've taught us, it's not just about product or service. It can also be applied when getting a job or getting a contract. So this is my question. A company that I know very well did a presentation for a 50 million naira contract. And they presented to the team in Nigeria and they presented to the team in France. And at the end of the day, my colleague that works there told me that somebody in the company in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
suddenly rose up and said, I have somebody. I mean, after this company that I'm talking about had been told that they won the contract in Nigeria and they won abroad. Is this a customer problem or is it a Nigerian problem? That's
Well,
what I say.
thank you very much for that. Great question. In reality, this is not just here. I've worked in different parts of this world. People always give some kind of preference to people that they know. And that's why you will even say it. If you've read Donald Trump's book, he will say that you should stay in a nice hotel. He'll be like, you should play golf because you'll have a lot of friends. And I mean, even in politics, even that in the US and the UK, if you don't belong to a certain club, or you're not part of something, um you typically will struggle to get things out of the system. However, what I've also seen in that is that in a lot of those locations and those climes, so to speak, they typically will give that final thing to someone who is capable. So think about it like, you've got two capable individuals or two capable companies. They've done some kind of selection process. They've made what they've said, oh, these are the last two or the last three. They all have great products and things like that. It's like taking the top end iPhone with the top end Samsung. Do you understand? Or sometimes when organizations want to buy cloud services, I've seen where that happened a lot in the UK, and you have AWS and you have Microsoft. These are top end organizations, but they will go with one. Now, usually, what is the difference at that point? It's just their relationship. It's the relationships that they have. Now, it's a different thing if you say that, oh, they gave it to somebody who is not competent. That you might see a lot around in Nigeria, as it is that they might end up giving that thing even to somebody who is not competent. But when both all the final entities are competent, then relationship matters. And thank you very much for bringing that up, because that's something that will be my last thought, so to speak. That it's important that you and I build relationships. People buy from their friends, they buy from people that they like buy from people that they enjoy having conversations with. That's who they even you and I go to buy bread. I mean, on my street there are about three places where you can buy bread, but there'll be a reason why we always go to only one of them to buy bread. Right? There might be three women who all line up on the street and they all sell granuts. But there's one of them that when you go there, the person says, oh, how is that your son? Is he back from school? And the woman remembers even the name of your son and things like that. So, in the effect, or as part of our customer-centric culture, another name for it will be us building great and effective relationships with our potential and existing customers. That is my final word. Each of us should go into 2024 thinking about how we build great and effective relationships with both our existing and potential or future type customers. Once again, Kel, thank you very much for your question. You also said that these things are also very applicable to people who are looking to get hired. I agree with you. These are very important things, even to people who are looking to get hired. You're looking to get a job. These same concepts that are in the foundation course and that we've also covered on this webinar, and I believe this webinar will typically also go onto YouTube, so you can go back and watch it again, listen to it again, and I'm sure they will share the slides with the entities that are registered for this particular core. And by the time you also take your foundation exam, this will help you. Either you're looking for a job, or you have an existing job, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Yes, I mean, Maxwell, the document that I've shared will help you with your marketing and sales. Absolutely, there's content in there that will help you as it is. And yeah, I believe every business must yeah, so everybody must build relationships, and relationships, exactly, some of those relationships can be lifetime relationships. You can have those relationships forever. Some people, their customers have become their family, friends, and things like that. All right, so once again, thank you very much for having me. Thank you SMBP. Thank you for Damilare for having me. It's been my pleasure completely. Thank you.